Coach Hobbs from Shiloh High School. Excuse me. First, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to come to represent Shiloh. But it's a new day. I was fortunate to get a job last May, and after everything that went on with the former coach, and so last season was trying to put things together to get ready for a season. But as soon as we finished against Central Gwinnett last year, we stripped it all down and started over. So now we believe that we're working towards what we need to do. I hear everybody talking about their goals and motto of the season, and our biggest goal motto is to be consistent. And I think that's with the entire program as far as coaches, players, administration, and everybody, and we're headed in that direction. We've had a good winter. We had about 96 guys out every day working out, even when we did our 6 a.m. workouts for 4 straight Wednesdays before we went on spring break. So that was a good starting point, launching point into the spring. And then we had a pretty good spring as well. I read in the Gwinnett Daily Post that they had already named a quarterback for us, but they didn't actually talk to Coach Hobbs about that because we don't have a starting quarterback. But that's not a problem. We'll decide that once we get into preseason, and then we'll come up with a quarterback. But we do have 2 young men, Will Larimore and Sean Halsey, that will compete for the starting quarterback for Shiloh High School. Offensively, we'll be a modified spread team that can jump into some 2-back and some tight end formations as well. We got both of our receivers from last year returning, and one guy, Cameron Stewart, that's been heavily recruited now as a junior, will lead us in that role. In our slot position, 2 guys, James Miles and Grant Swinton. Grant was the 400-meter champ for the big classification in track this year, and also placed in the 200. So we got some skilled kids that can give us an opportunity to make some plays. We just got to find that trigger guy that can do that. And up front, we'll return 3 starters on the offensive line that'll give us a chance to be able to make some plays. And Xavier was one of he was our starting right guard, but also started on the defensive line for us. That made honorable mention defensive line last year. So he'll be an anchor on both sides of the ball for us, and one of our senior leaders as well. Defensively, like most of the teams in this county, probably in our region, they won't talk about it, but we got a new defensive coordinator, and Coach Early that comes over from St. Pius. That was a long time head coach at Berkmore and South Forsyth. We'll run a 4-3 this year and do some things that are feasible to what our kids are capable of doing, and giving them a chance to make some plays. And that'll be led by Austin Extra, who started last year, free safety for us. And will be a starter this year, but we'll move him around a lot to give him an opportunity to make some plays. And you heard a lot of coaches, especially Coach Dyer, talk about the kicking game. We found us a soccer kid, Adrian Lawler, that will handle all the duties for us. Strong-legged kid, came out in the spring and kicked the ball well, but it's not the same as once those lights come on and being able to put the ball through the uprights or placing the ball on kicks and punts. So we still got some work to do in that area, but we're coming along. Team overall, we had a great spring, great summer. Participated in a couple of 707s, went to the Central Gwinnett 707. First one again and did pretty well. Had a chance to go to the North Gwinnett 707 and made it to the final 8, and then went over to Alabama right before the dead period and finished 3rd there with a chance to almost play in Bryant-Denny Stadium. So our guys have been working. We've had a chance to send our offensive and defensive line to a couple of camps. Got our offensive line that'll go to a camp this week, so they can bond and get some things worked out before we go. So we're headed in that right direction. We're doing some things that most people probably think we're just sitting home relaxing because we're that Shiloh. We're not that Shiloh. So we're working hard, and we want to be able to compete in a tough Region 8. I see Berkmore back there. They know how it is. You get in that gauntlet of that season, and it's time to go. But hopefully we've gotten a little stronger and a little faster and a little smarter, and we can be able to make some plays. But I'm gonna turn it over to these guys and let them speak for a minute. Xavier Carter, one of our defensive linemen, and he'll be a senior this year.
Hello, my name is Xavier Carter. I'm starting offensive guard and defensive tackle for Shiloh. We have a good group of offensive linemen. They're getting more experience. learning that it takes some physicality to play offensive line. It's not all about pretty stuff. It's really a grind. We got Juan at center. He's always been pretty good. He knows what he's doing. He's a junior this year, and he'll look to start to take over the offensive line for me. On defensive line, we have 3 returning starters, me, Keith, and Keyjohn. We're all big dudes. We know what we're doing. We're smart. We push each other in the weight room and on the track. We try and get in shape because it's a grind. Got to go every play hard all the time. We're not worried about what's going on behind us. We know we got to do what we got to do. You can't win the game without offense, defensive line, so we're trying to do our part to make that happen.
Thanks, X. And then I turn over Austin X.
Austin X, free safety. With this being my senior year, I feel like all of the weight is on me, so I'm not going to go out my senior year as a losing program. We've been working hard, like Coach Hobbs has said, every day in the weight room, and we've been going on the field and grinding every day. We have some young talent, but I can tell that they have a lot of potential, and as long as we work hard, their potential will show.
That's about it. I know y'all probably don't have no questions for us, so that means I can get the chips party a little earlier tonight.
This won't take too long. Last year, you came in the first year. I guess the biggest challenge was getting the kids to believe they can be competitive. With that mission pretty much accomplished, what's the next step for you? What's the biggest challenge, I guess, in getting them to believe that they can win big?
I don't know if we've accomplished that hurdle yet. I know one thing, I don't have all the headaches like I did every day last year. You know, I guess the little BC powder does work. But once again, it was just, letting these guys know that we care and that we're going to be there for them every day. We're not in and out like it has been before. We did lose some coaches, but for the most part, the nucleus of the staff was there, and so the kids were able to build on that and see that they can lean on us to be able to do what's necessary, and they're starting to buy in. They're buying in and wanting to do what we're asking them to do, and for the most part, that has been taken care of. We're getting the consistent numbers, like I said, that word consistency. We're getting the consistent numbers, at practice throughout the summer, so we'll see what happens during the season. We had a lot more wins than the 3 wins we had last year, overall with the program. Now we want to build and get some more wins in the win column against some teams, but we know in this region we gotta be physical, we gotta be strong, and we gotta make plays when it's time to make plays. And I hope as a staff that we are able to instill that in these guys, that they just gotta trust in each other and continue to make plays. Thank you.
I have a question. Are we done? You got it.
All right.
No, if you look at Shiloh over the last 10 or 15 years, it hasn't been the most successful program in terms of wins in the county, but looking at it from the outside, it's not really an issue of athletes, but consistency, both at the coaching level and maybe discipline and stuff. And I think one thing people don't realize is how much effort and time coaches throughout this county spend developing kids into young men and character development. Can you talk about some of the things y'all do at Shiloh towards that vein to make kids better people?
Well, some of the things I do as our seniors are our leaders. You hear people saying they have a leadership council and those things. My seniors are our leadership council, so I lean heavily on them because I'm not playing. Like I tell them all the time, I stand on this side of the white line, they play on the other side of the white line. So I rely heavily on my senior class and them telling me what we can do and what I would need to do to help them to be more successful. As far as school and administration, we got a great principal in Dr. Parker that has come in and done some things that's changing the whole culture of the entire school. And we're a big part of that. We got the biggest staff and we got the most kids out, and so we lean on each other on how we can be successful throughout the whole school. Disciplinary-wise, we haven't had a lot of problems. I have done some things that have made guys understand that if you want to be committed to this, you got to be committed. But overall, you got to be committed to Shiloh High School and not just Shiloh football. You got to be committed to the whole entity of it all. If that answers your question.